Michelle Williams asked me to read and review her memoir, Checking In, ahead of its release on May 25th. And I just got to say, it was a good read. From the top to the bottom, I enjoyed it. She started off page one just witty and raw, and that set the tone for the entire book. So when I say I read that thing in 2 days, I read that thing in 2 days because it was just that good. I got tips on anxiety. I got tips on depression, how to spot it, how to move and navigate through it. And you get her story in the meantime, and like I said, I just learned so much so that I even have notes on my phone. And so what I want to share with you today is not spoilers. It's not line by line. This is what she did. This is what she said. But it's more so what I took away from her experience and what I'm learning on my own journey. But this also amplified that and allowed me to see my own behavior, see my own patterns, and continue to grow and move forward. So first things first, what she says is be kind to yourself in a roundabout way throughout the entire book. And so what I translate that to is give yourself grace. In whatever stage you are in this life, give yourself grace because you are still here, you are still doing good, you are still progressing. And so that counts for something. So be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace enough to say, I'm doing this right. I'm on the right track in this regard. And be proud of it. To sit in your proud moments. Sit in your accomplishments a little while longer and be happy. And shift the way you think about who you are because you are the greatest. And if you don't know that, it's time to start doing things to shift your mind and begin to think, believe, and move in that manner. The second thing that she kind of highlights throughout the entire book is don't lose yourself. And in the memoir, she talks about how she was full of life versus full of fear. And that's real. It's a very real reality of wanting to be the best version of yourself, but being so fearful that it does not happen. And you cheat yourself out of those opportunities because you're scared, you're nervous, you're all those things, and it becomes too much to where it does not happen. And I just want to interpret that as be mindful of who you are. So if you know who you are, if you know what you're set here to do, or even if you're figuring it out, give yourself grace enough to be in that moment and be proud of that person you are today because it's getting you to where you want to be. It's all a stepping stone for what's next and what's to come. And so all those tie in together. Be mindful of who you are, and that goes into giving yourself grace and knowing when to turn inward and really look at yourself to grow. And so the last point is, she says, check in. And primarily that means looking at yourself, talking to yourself on a daily basis, keeping those affirmations high on your list, and speaking light and speaking love and speaking positivity to you because you are the machine. You need positivity. You need all those things that work together to become that whole version of yourself. And she kind of reiterates that the entire way through. And so what I take that as is being honest with yourself. So knowing that in this area of my life, I might need to improve, I might need to grow, and not being afraid to do it and to take those steps to become that great version of yourself. And I know for myself, I'm in a process where I am actively doing those things. And so this book was right on time because it really put a lot of the things that I'm currently living through in perspective and gave me tangible tips. Like she gives you bullet pointed tips on how to get through these things and how to seek out the help and how to highlight when the symptoms are there, when the signs are there, and then how you can not just get help from professionals, but eventually and learn how to help yourself. And with God, you can do all of that. So, like I said, it was right on time. It was such a good read. I read that thing in 2 days. And if that's not the testimony enough, and I got a phone full of notes. So I need y'all to read this book when it comes out on May 25th. Pick up your copy because Michelle is preaching, and it's so necessary. It's so needed in a time of COVID. It's so needed in a time of self-reflection and growth and expansion. It's a new season, y'all, and we have to go get it. And checking in will definitely help you align to where you want to be and start manifesting those things that you want to attain in this life. So get checking in. Let's keep checking in. Yeah. And let's get everything that we deserve this year and beyond.